More drama in Dalton. Credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars.
See what it looks like to come out of controversy and to come out of all the hatred unscathed.
Rumor has it that former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has hit rock bottom. You may have seen the headlines about her controversial time in office in Dalton, a small town just 22 miles from Chicago. While she's no celebrity, her actions have drawn major attention, and not in a good way. Word on the street says Henyard is now broke and allegedly trying to raise $10 million on GoFundMe to maintain her lifestyle. Creditors are reportedly lining up, suing her to reclaim what they're owed. The financial trouble she's facing is serious, and it's left the people of Dalton, whom she once represented, feeling disappointed and let down.
There have been increases in general administration spending in nearly every area.
The spotlight is now on Tiffany Henyard and her growing debt crisis. It all started in March 2024, when news broke that she'd been using taxpayer money to cover her personal, extravagant expenses. It was as if she treated Dalton's finances like her own open checkbook, spending freely, except this wasn't her own money. Residents were outraged. At a public meeting, one of them bluntly told her, "You lied to us as residents. You don't represent me, and I want you to step down as mayor today to save our village from the financial mess you've created." Now, Dalton can barely cover its own bills, and to make matters worse, Henyard's personal financial troubles run even deeper. The taxpayer funds she used on her lavish spending habits were only part of the story.
Costing taxpayers a lot of money with few details about how it benefits the communities she serves.
Tiffany Henyard didn't just stop at misusing taxpayer money, she also racked up millions in personal loans. Unsurprisingly, she can't pay them back now and is reportedly on the verge of bankruptcy. While she was busy living a life of luxury, Dalton was suffering. The police department's cars are even at risk of repossession because the town can't pay off its debts. The residents alleged that her reckless spending didn't end there. She was also allegedly running questionable schemes, including one involving Section 8 housing. Instead of maintaining the housing meant to support low-income families, she's accused of pocketing the payments and splurging on trips to Las Vegas.
They have no idea why township taxpayers picked up that.
This all points to a much larger issue, revealing Tiffany Henyard's term as mayor in an extremely negative light. It's not just about poor decisions, it's serious mismanagement, corruption, and outright neglect of her responsibility to improve life for Dalton's residents. Instead, she seemed focused on living large at their expense. Once people caught on, they didn't hold back in expressing their outrage. The mayor has money to go to Vegas, but not to pay the village's debts. That's just wrong, one resident said. It's frustrating for the community to feel victimized by this behavior. And the more people investigate, the more problems they find, all linked back to Henyard. It's as if she forgot her duty was to serve Dalton, not herself, though she clearly knew how to handle the budget when it came to her own interests.
$40,000 at Amazon. What a slap.
And believe it or not, while all this was going on, Tiffany kept acting like everything was perfectly fine, continuing to make decisions for Dalton as if nothing was amiss. Maybe she thought she could keep it all under wraps, but it didn't take long for the FBI to step in. They've launched a full-blown criminal investigation into her finances, and it's not looking good. The FBI has issued subpoenas covering everything from her personal financial records to the town's complete financial history. They're digging deep, and what they're finding is reportedly shocking. This investigation has added serious weight to an already explosive situation.
And now we've learned from multiple sources that federal agents are in fact interviewing with.
Turns out Tiffany's extravagant spending didn't stop at Vegas trips. The investigation reveals she allegedly used taxpayer money on a range of personal luxuries, from high-end cars to a Hollywood-worthy security detail. It's as if she believed her position came with unlimited funds to spend as she pleased. Now she's turning to the public for help, but it's no surprise that social media is lighting up with criticism. One commenter put it bluntly, "She got herself into this mess, she can get herself out. I'm not donating a dime," another pointed out. "She's making over $300,000 and can't pay her bills. Now she wants our money." Tiffany's public image has taken a massive hit, and denying the truth hasn't helped her at all. But don't think she's lying low or owning up to her actions. Instead, while Dalton struggles to recover, she's busy stirring up more drama and shifting the blame onto others.
I wish the FBI is around the corner so they can come and raid this place, because all of y'all deserve to go to.
It turns out all that money Tiffany was spending wasn't even hers. She had been borrowing left and right, and now creditors are hounding her for repayment. She's surrounded by unpaid bills, yet it seems she can't bring herself to admit defeat. Instead, she's reportedly turning to everyday people online, hoping they'll bail her out to avoid bankruptcy. One insider put it bluntly, Mayor Henyard is acting without regard for the law, choosing what benefits her personally and politically instead of doing what's right for Dalton and its residents. And here's the worst part, she allegedly used public property as collateral for her personal loans, risking assets that weren't hers to gamble with in the first place. Once this all came to light, the locals were understandably outraged.
People will always try to stop things they cannot control. That's what it's all.
Just when it seemed Tiffany Henyard couldn't get any more desperate, she's taken things to a whole new level. She's actually started a GoFundMe page. That's right, the same mayor who spent eye-popping amounts of taxpayer money on Amazon shopping sprees and personal luxuries is now asking the public for donations to rescue herself from financial ruin. It appears that fame and power led to some seriously reckless behavior, and now with Dalton already in a financial crisis, Tiffany herself is reportedly broke. Some skeptics think this might be her last scheme, a final attempt to grab what she can from the public before vanishing and living out her days in a distant hideaway.
What she's doing is totally unorthodox.
Rumor has it Tiffany is planning a disappearing act, and she'll need a hefty stash of cash if she intends to skip town or even leave the country. When the investigation exposed her outlandish Amazon shopping sprees and an $88,000 tab for makeup products in 2023, she practically vanished, likely worried about the fallout from her wild spending. One trustee noted, "The last bank statement I saw was in September of last year, and we were $7 million in debt." Naturally, people are now questioning if there's more to this than meets the eye. Some think her GoFundMe page is her last-ditch attempt to play the sympathy card, hoping the public will forget her shady dealings. Others believe Tiffany is genuinely broke and bold enough to ask for online donations, regardless of everything she's put Dalton through. The people of Dalton are furious and aren't about to let Tiffany Henyard off the hook. They remember every penny of taxpayer money she spent on her own luxuries like makeup and clothing while the town sank into crisis under her watch. Now, as she tries to get people to feel sorry for her, the town is still dealing with the mess she created, and somehow she believes she's the one who needs financial help. Despite the chaos she's caused, she's managed to raise around $115,000 on GoFundMe, though not everyone is buying into her shameless plea for donations. On social media, there's no sign of sympathy. One commenter wrote, "The fact that she's not in prison yet is as bad as the crime she's committed," another added. "How dare she ask the people she stole from to bail her out of a $10 million debt? She belongs in prison." Despite everything, Tiffany is still hoping to escape the consequences by relying on everyday people to fund her escape. Good luck with that, because her schemes are out in the open now. So, what do you think about the aftermath of her so-called leadership and her attempt to raise funds? It's clear that most people aren't buying what she's selling.